Hi, I'm Bob, and welcome to Between the Sheets, where we look at Microsoft Excel and related technologies. When creating a worksheet or report, you can insert a drop-down list on your worksheet so you or another user can pick a value from a list rather than typing it in. This way, you don't have to know all the possible choices that go in the cell, and you can avoid typos or eliminate multiple ways of writing something. So, let's take a look, see how it works. Okay, so here's the way it works. Before I even put a drop-down list on the worksheet, let's talk about what is going to go in there. So when you click the drop-down list, what are going to be your options? So you see down on the bottom, I've got two tabs. There's this tab that we don't have selected right now called Products, and I'm going to click that, and you see I have a whole list of products. Just in alphabetical order. It doesn't have to be, but probably a good idea. From apples all the way down to watermelons. You notice there is no header for this list. It's okay if you have a header in there, but you just need to make sure not to select it later on. Let's just click there. So let's go back to list. Now what I'm going to do, let me scroll down here a little bit. I'm going to select a bunch of cells like that. So this way I can put the same drop-down list in all of those cells at the same time. So on the ribbon bar, I'm going to go to the Data tab. And in the Data tab, you see we've got this Data Tools section. Now, for the recording, my screen is a little scrunched up, so I don't really see all the labels. But with this little symbol there, that little icon there, when I click this drop-down, you see I have data validation. Now, on your screen, data validation might already be up there. I don't know. So I'm going to click data validation, and that throws this dialog box, and you see there are three tabs: Setting, Input Message, and Error Alert. So let's start on the Settings tab. And by default, this is going to allow you to put anything in there. So I'm going to click this little drop down, and I'm going to say, I want a list. And that opens up this box for source. Now, there's actually two ways of populating this box. You could type in the list manually and just separate the items with commas, but I don't recommend that because it gets messy. It's hard to edit later on. That's why we have this products list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my cursor is in the source box. I'm going to click the Products tab. Here's all the products. And I'm going to start from apples. I'm going to select all the way down to watermelons. And again, if I had a header here, I would make sure not to select it. And you can see what's happening in the source box. This is a regular, legitimate Excel formula. You notice, by the way, it's absolute. We've got those dollar signs in there. And ignore blank means just what it says. Excel is going to ignore it. It's going to ignore the drop-down if there's nothing in there. In-cell drop-down is what's going to give you the little drop-down arrow. Why you would do this without having that drop-down arrow, I really don't know. Second tab is Input Message, and what this is going to do is you can have it so that whenever you click one of the cells that has a drop-down list, Excel will throw a little yellow pop-up help to tell you what's in there. That gets really old really fast. It just gets in the way, so I'm going to deselect that. You could use that once in a while, but really very sparingly. Third tab is Error Alert, and you could enable this or not enable it. And what this will do is if you try to type something in that drop-down that is not in the list, will Excel allow it or will it throw an error to you? So generally a good idea to do that. And we could have a title and error message, and that's what's going to be on a little yellow pop-up. Like in this dialog box here, data validation is the title and everything else is the message. So I'm going to click there and title, and I will say the title is product list, and the error message, I'm going to say you must select from the list. So that avoids you or any other user from making a typo or maybe calling the same product by two different names like oranges and navel oranges, that sort of thing. And the stop error means it just will not let you do anything else. You can either delete what's in there or you can pick something correctly, but you can't really do anything else with that dropdown. So I'm going to leave that there and click OK. Now you can't really see anything except for this little arrow there that's at the top, so I'm going to click there. But now when I click that drop down, I can choose a product. And these others, you notice there is no drop-down until you click one of those. And if you want to make this easier for yourself or for your users, you could go and maybe put some light shading down on there so that you know what's going on there. So you see the list that I did is only going down to row 11. If I scroll a little bit and I go to any row below that, you notice there was no drop down. And you really would not know that unless or until you actually click on one of those. This feature has been around for many years in many versions, so no matter which edition of Excel you have, you'll be able to do this. So until next time, my name is Bob, and this has been Between the Sheets.